In 1982, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner unsuccessfully chased its audience. The US science fiction film noir with costs of $30 million did make less than $42 million worldwide back and was initially a flop. It also received rather cautious to mixed feedback from critics. Over the years, however, it became a cult film that shaped the subgenre of the dystopian cyberpunk like no other. Something similar for science fiction and horror was already true for Ridley Scott's Alien from 1979. The movie exists in several versions, officially 7 or so, to which it seems like new ones are added constantly, one worse than the other. And of course, I'm talking as always about the original. Precisely the first version that was released in theaters and on video in Europe, nowadays called the International Cut or Criterion Edition. With Deckard's explanatory voiceovers, happy ending car ride at the end, and without gay unicorn dream sequence in the middle. In the perpetually diesel-soaked urban juggernaut of LA of the distant future of 2019, it's decadent, gritty, dirty, overpopulated, and people are constantly exposed to advertising. Real animals are almost extinct, and the population is promised a better life on distant planets, in worlds developed by so-called replicants. Manufactured by the powerful Tyrell Corporation, these artificial, lifelike humans without rights possess greater physical strength and develop their own feelings and ambitions over time. As some of them are also highly intelligent, they are given a limited lifespan of 4 years. When replicants hijack a spaceship, kill humans and flee to Earth, former Blade Runner Rick Deckard is sent to eliminate them. He meets Rachel, who works for the Tyrell Corporation, also a replicant, but who is unaware of this thanks to her artificially implanted memories and reacts to this information with confusion. He falls in love with her and begins to doubt the legitimacy of his mission, especially as Rachel also gets on the police death list. Meanwhile, the replicant Roy kills Tyrell when he realizes that even his creator cannot expend his life. In the final, he engages in a dramatic duel with Deckard, mocking him and appearing to toy with him due to his physical superiority. However, he saves his life at the last moment in an act of humanity. Shortly before his own time runs out and he himself has to die, Deckard flees the city with Rachel. The fantastic soundtrack by Vangelis contributes greatly to the melancholy, dark atmosphere. Blade Runner is one of the most impressive movies ever made, and like Fritz Lang's Metropolis, whose aesthetics clearly served as a model, was way ahead of its time and anticipates many questionable technical/scientific achievements. As well as a society that is completely fragmented by mixing, uprooted, who only communicate in a mishmash of different languages, and therefore easily controlled by the elites. In other words, exactly the diverse society, thanks to our traitorous politician scum, that we are heading towards, not living but only existing, in which everyone is next to themselves and replicants show more humanity than their supposed creators. Among the excellent cast, Rutger Hauer stands out in particular, whose performance as Roy leaves absolutely no one cold. The movie is based very loosely on Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? There are neither Blade Runner nor replicants. Artificial humans are simply androids, short Andes, who are hunted by bounty hunters. It is also set after a nuclear war on a barely habitable Earth, covered in a permanent layer of dust, in San Francisco 1992, not LA 2019, and most of the humans have already emigrated to Mars. Each of these is assigned an android, who are not allowed to stay on Earth without permission as a protector and servant. Due to the radiation, those who remain on Earth must always fear infertility or mental degeneration, and as a result, degradation as specials, second-class people who are denied the right to emigrate. Deckard is active, not retired, and married. His wife Irene has an important supporting role. There is also a widespread religion called Mercerism, as well as a plan by the androids to expose it as a hoax. Movie and book are both very good, but for different reasons and not really comparable, as the novel tells a completely different story. Deckard's main drive, for example, is to acquire a real pet, almost extinct in this world and particularly unaffordable, to replace his electronic sheep at some point. And in my view, apart from a few names or characters and the fact that artificial humans are being hunted by a bounty hunter in a dystopian future, it has little in common with the movie. The tone is also extremely sarcastic, where the movie is more melancholic. In Blade Runner 2049 from 2017, humans and replicants now lead a largely peaceful coexistence. Replicant Hunter, Replicant Officer K tracks down old models that are not programmed to die by themselves, so would theoretically live forever. In the process, he comes across the remains of replicant Rachel, who gave birth to a child 30 years ago, which is actually impossible as they cannot reproduce. While the largest replicant manufacturer / beard-twirling supervillain would like to add this type of child-bearing replicant to his portfolio because he really wants to make himself unemployed or what? K is instructed to find and terminate it. And thinks for a while. In the last hour he also finds Deckard. He might be the chosen child himself. But the key to everything, of course, turns out to be a girl in the end. No surprise here, I guess. There with a constantly meaningful background blaster, almost 3 hours, which felt like 6, of completely uninteresting, pseudo-intellectual, sterile, colorful flood of images by Denis Villeneuve. See also Dune 2021, which I also can't stand, has, apart from the fact that with an estimated cost of $185 million and a worldwide box office of $270 million, it was also a flop. In my opinion, almost nothing in common with its predecessor. The barely existing plot, the kid out of nowhere, K as a possible candidate. His boss doesn't even want to know who the kid was and is content with "it's done," etc. is just completely pulled out of their ass as it fits, just to have any story at all, even if it makes no sense at all. Ryan Gosling is the purest sleeping pill, and only undercut by the even weaker performances of the other actors. Harrison Ford looks completely out of place here, and as with most of his embarrassing performances over the last 25 years, is just grabbing another paycheck while he still can. In the same year, the two 5-minute shorts 2036 Nexus Dawn and 2048 Nowhere to Run were also released as a prequel to the sequel. And the 15-minute animated Blackout 2022, so the prequel to the prequel of the sequel. This was then also continued in 2021 with 13 episodes of 20 minutes each of the animated series Black Lotus. The sequel to the prequel from the prequel to the sequel takes place 10 years later, in 2032, and is from my personal point of view, like everything except the original, the usual waste of time.